Okay, well, we are going to start with scams, hacks, and breaches news. And massive QR code phishing campaign exploits Microsoft's sway to steal Microsoft 365 credentials. I did not know what Microsoft sway was, but I'll tell you here. A recent large scale QR code phishing campaign has exploited Microsoft Sway, a cloud based tool for creating online presentations to deceive Microsoft 365 users into revealing their credentials. Identified by Netscope Threat Labs in July of this year, following a staggering 2,000-fold increase in phishing attacks, leveraged Microsoft Sway as a host for malicious landing pages. The phishing emails involved in this campaign directed recipients to a landing page hosted on the sway.cloud.microsoft domain, where they were encouraged to scan a QR code. I've always said, be careful when you scan a QR code. These codes, when scanned, redirect users to a malicious website designed to steal their Microsoft 365 credentials. The attackers took advantage of the weaker security protocols typically found on mobile devices. That's the other reason why I say don't necessarily use your mobile device for a lot of the things that you do, which are often used to scan QR codes, thereby increasing the likelihood of bypassing security controls and accessing sensitive information. So be careful when you're scanning QR codes, people. And here's people fall for this stuff all the time. But a victim seems to have lost 1 ETH to a YouTube scam, which was titled 1.2 ETHs made daily easy with ChatGPT on 1 inch. So when things claim that, oh, you can make extra on this, it's not necessarily proven. The issue is, as we've talked before about, this type of scam lures victims into deploying malicious contracts. Once the relevant actions are executed, the funds deposited are transferred to the scammer's address. So be careful what you say yes to as far as a smart contract. It's really hard to see what the smart contract is going to do. I hope they change things in the future, but up to now, just don't get your wallet strained with that. And here we have another one, and Jay and I talked about this one months ago. 7 hours ago, another victim lost 17 ETH, which is basically about $46,000, by copying the wrong address from a contaminated transfer history. So if you look at this one, you'll see that the correct address is in green and it ends in 2FB14. Well, the one down here in red also ends in 2FB14, but the first part is very different. Right here, just before the three dots, it's 78A6, and here we have 9CO2. So don't just look at the first and the last. It'll always start with OX. So don't just look at the first two, but check in the middle, because that will definitely save you from losing crypto. This is not hacking into your wallet. This is just someone making a dumb mistake by not necessarily checking the address that they're sending to. So really be careful when you're sending out your crypto. And now into crypto news. Rest in peace, unhosted wallet rule. The 2020 FinCEN unhosted wallet proposal has arguably been dead for years, but it's now official. In 2020, I remember this when they recommended this rule, and I was like, you've got to be kidding. But in 2020, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network proposed imposing know your customer requirements for unhosted wallets, drawing immense backlash from the crypto industry. This week, the Treasury Department formally withdrew the proposal. An unhosted wallet basically means your ledger wallet, anything that you host on your computer. And so know your client on that. That was crazy. So Bitcoin average transaction fee rises 937.7% in 24 hours. The average Bitcoin transaction fee surged over 940% from 74 cents to $7.70 per transaction on August 22nd, primarily driven by increased network demand. According to blockchain.com and YCharts data, Bitcoin transaction fees shot up considerably, over 940%, adding to the pressure on investors. Many members of the crypto community paid excessive fees as a result. So when you're making a transfer, here's a couple things to remember. Make sure you're sending to the correct address, and make sure you're not taken advantage of by the network transaction fees. As you can kind of see on this graph, it really shot up. from being next to, historically lows. So just don't send things. Verify that the address is correct and that you're not paying outrageous network fees. The crypto bull market has created 88,000 new millionaires in 2024. 88,000 new crypto millionaires have been created during this market rise this year. 6 new crypto billionaires were also created, 5 of which held Bitcoin. That's good to know. Singapore continues to be the premier crypto hub. So hopefully out of those 88,000 new millionaires, there are a few in the binge team. Celsius bankruptcy plan administrator pays out over 2.5 billion. Celsius has distributed over 2.53 billion to more than 251,000 creditors as part of its bankruptcy process. Another 121,000 eligible creditors have yet to successfully claim their distribution. So if you were a part of the Celsius fiasco, make sure you claim any coins that are due to you. And this is, another reason why I never thought Celsius was going to go bankrupt. I thought that they, had a strong business plan. They had been around for years. I know people have talked about having, Bitcoin, taking loans out against their Bitcoin, and doing it with a newly formed company is a little risky. When J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America have instituted a way where I might be able to put Bitcoin in and borrow against it, that's when I'll look at it. But anything that is not a traditional, well-funded, part of the system, you risk losing your crypto. So TON is back online after block production outage triggered by dogs. The Open Network, or TON, blockchain is back online after experiencing issues that caused its network to stop producing new blocks for several hours. It's kind of scary when that happens. The latest update on TON came 2 hours after TON Foundation officially reported experience of disruption in block production due to the abnormal load on the network. The outages were allegedly caused by unusual network congestion caused by the airdrop of dogs, a new TON-based meme coin. Several validators are unable to clean the database of old transactions, which has led to losing the consensus, TON noted. The foundation mentioned that TON Core issued a call to validators to restart their validators at 4 a.m. So it's kind of interesting that a blockchain can go down, but it obviously can. Hopefully they will resolve that. I don't know how many validators they have, but that could have been part of the problem. So we're on to technology news. And Calhoun Stealer malware targets Mac users' crypto wallets in a growing Mac OS threat. Mac users are being warned about a new strain of malware called Calhoun, which targets popular cryptocurrency wallets like MetaMask, Coinbase, and Binance on Mac OS. This malware disguises itself as legitimate software such as Clean My Mac or Adobe Gen P and is delivered in the form of an Apple disk image, the DMGs that you download and you install on your Mac. When users attempt to open the file, they are prompted to enter their password through the Mac OS command line tool used for running AppleScript and JavaScript. Once the password is entered, a second prompt appears specifically targeting the password for Ethereum wallets, MetaMask, and others. The malware also attempts to steal credentials from other well-known wallets, including Coinbase, Wasabi, Electrum, Atomic, Binance, and Blockchain Wallet. Calhoun Stealer operates by storing the stolen data in a text file and fingerprinting the victim's system to gather further information such as IP address and operating system version. According to the Cato Systems, which reported the malware on August 22nd, primarily function of the Calhoun Stealer is to steal credentials and cryptocurrency wallets and even targets game accounts. So be careful what you download and install on your system. Make sure you're getting it from the official website and not necessarily, clicking through on an ad, because you'll see that that's, happening. Hackers steal banking creds from iOS, Android users via PWA apps. Threat actors started to use progressive web applications to impersonate banking apps and steal credentials from Android and iOS users. Progressive web apps, PWAs, they're the ones that you can go to a website and it looks kind of like the app itself to gain access. Are cross-platform applications that can be installed directly from the browser and offer a native-like experience through features like push notifications, access to device hardware, and background data syncing. Using this type of app in phishing campaigns allows evading detection, bypass app installation restrictions, and gain access to risky permissions on the device without having to serve a user a standard prompt that could raise suspicions. So be careful when you install apps and make sure that where you're visiting is the correct website and not something that appears to be the website you're trying to go to. Crypto users at risk, and Amos malware clone web apps to steal funds. A new wave of concerns is sweeping the macOS community as the atomic macOS, or Amos, malware evolved, now possessing the ability to clone web apps and steal cryptocurrencies from unsuspecting users. According to a report released by cybersecurity firm Loomlock Lab on August 5th, this malware is making a comeback, being advertised deceptively through Google AdSense. Yes, if you click on an ad, you may get this. Amos disguises itself as a popular macOS application such as Loom, Figma, Tunnelbrick, and Calzi, none of which authorized these fake versions. Moonlock researchers uncovered the malware when they encountered a fraudulent Loom advertisement that directed them back to a spoofed website. Instead of downloading the legitimate Loom app, users are tricked into downloading a complex version of the Amos stealer designed to mimic the real program. So be careful what you're downloading. And here we have FTC finalizes rule banning fake reviews, including those made with AI. How many times have you visited Amazon and you'll see a fake review? I mean, sometimes they're easy to spot and sometimes they're not. But the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, announced on Wednesday a final rule that will tackle several types of fake reviews and prohibit marketeers from using deceptive practices such as AI-generated reviews, censoring honest negative reviews, and compensating third parties for positive reviews. The FTC's new rule has been a long time coming. It aims to improve the often untrustworthy online review system and, hopefully, make it easier for people to find reliable reviews. Merchants, especially on Amazon, have been using fake and paid reviews far too long. Amazon claimed to cease more than 200 million fake reviews in 2020. In 2021, Yelp reported over 950 suspicious groups, posts, or individuals were engaging in deceptive review practices on other online platforms. Now, the rise of generative AI has made it easier than ever for bad actors to write fake reviews. So hopefully, I mean, you can't have spam calls, but that hasn't stopped them. We'll see if this ruling or law or whatever it is stops some of the fake reviews. Oh, and here we have Mark. He's coming and saying, I'm so sorry. But Mark Zuckerberg says he regrets bowing to COVID-19 censorship pressure. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has alleged that Facebook was pressured by the Biden administration to censor COVID-19 content during the pandemic and said that he regrets complying with those demands. He regrets it now. He could have said, well, the government's pressuring us to change this, but he didn't because he's a little baby. On August 26th, the tech billionaire sent a letter to the United States Representative Jim Jordan, chairman of the House of the Judiciary Committee, regarding concerns about content moderation on social media platforms in an ongoing investigation. He claimed that senior officials from the President Joe Biden's administration repeatedly pressured the company to censor certain COVID-19 information, including humor and satire. Obviously, they don't have anything for humor. In 2021, he said that ultimately it was Meta's team's decision to censor content, but he added that the team made some choices they wouldn't have made today with the benefit of hindsight and new information. Either way, he knew that this was going on, and yet he did not come out and say, hey, the Biden administration is pressuring us. So this could or could not be real. So I still don't have any respect for the man. Telegram, I've gotten so many of these, and someone put it in the Telegram channel, the tech only, and I understand that, but guys, this is just FUD that is repeated and repeated. But Telegram facing removal from Apple after allegations on CEO Pavel Durov. I don't know how to say his Durvo, his last name, but Apple is not planning to remove the Telegram app. Rumors on Apple about removing the Telegram from the App Store and automatically deleting it from your iPhone. Moreover, there are instructions shared to prevent this by applying some settings to prevent the app from being deleted. However, these posts are similar to Facebook posts from, 2021. X Community Notes has also debunked the latest post on X, noting that Apple is not doing any such thing. The image is from a since debunked Facebook post from 2021. So no, they're not going to remove it. You can do the things that were in it, but I'm not too worried about. There's so much FUD and fake and misinformation and fear that's going around. So let's not be a part of that. Apple iPhone 16 launch event is set for September. That's next month. That's just in a couple days. Apple has announced the date of its next big event, September 9th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The event, which has been taglined It's Glow Time, will take place at Steve Jobs Theater at Apple Park. During the show, excuse me, during the show, the company is expected to launch the iPhone 16 lineup. The big change to the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus is expected to be a switch to a vertically aligned camera system on the back. So if you plan to get an iPhone, hold off a little bit. The announcement will be made September 9th, and I think you can get them on September 23rd or so. I read where you could, but it's not in this article. And finally, we have just info for fun. And I know, Jay, you were talking about having you could do some push-ups, but I just wanted to show you what this guy can do. And it is kind of fun. So when you get a robot, you can have a little bit of competition with him and see who does more push-ups and how fast they can. This is kind of worthless because we know what push-ups, are the healthy thing. But I saw this as I was doing some research, and I just had to bring it to the show. So have a push-up contest with your robot when you get one. And that's all
Yeah,
I have for
the thing
today.
they're